Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, so are you ready to absolutely turbocharge your productivity by giving an AI direct access to your local shell? Seriously, we are going to look at how to completely eliminate that annoying friction between your code and your AI assistant. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the Gemini CLI to understand exactly how to bridge that gap. Look, if you spend any time working with language models while coding, you know the exact pain I'm talking about. You run a command in your terminal, copy the output, switch windows, paste it into a browser-based LLM, ask your question, copy the answer, switch back. It is just exhausting. But what if you could give an AI direct access to your local shell, so you literally never have to context switch again? Well, the answer is the Gemini CLI. It acts as this seamless, unified terminal-to-AI bridge. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the terminal-to-AI bridge, entering shell mode, focus mode, and interactive sessions, automating with TOML files, the execution order, and finally, some pro tips for productivity. Let's jump right in with Section 1, the terminal to AI bridge and entering shell mode. So, how do you actually cross this bridge? It's super simple. You trigger it just by pressing the exclamation mark key. When you do that, notice the visual distinction. The border of your chat input is going to instantly turn a light blue, and a little shell mode enabled indicator pops up. These visual cues are your absolute confirmation that you are no longer just chatting with an LLM, you are actually talking directly to your machine's terminal, right from within the AI session. While that light blue border is active, anything you type is executed as a local terminal command. So say you type ls to list your directory contents. The CLI runs it, but instead of just printing the result to your screen and losing it to the void, it packages that exact directory output straight into your chat history as context. The AI instantly knows what files you're looking at. And remember, you stay locked in this highly useful shell mode until you manually toggle back out by pressing the exclamation mark again, or just hitting the escape key. Moving on to Section 2, Focus Mode and Interactive Sessions. This brings us to a super common trap, a technical hiccup developers face all the time. Let's say you run an interactive background process, something like npm run test. The test runner starts up, but then it just sits there waiting for file changes. If you try to type Q to quit or A to run it again in your standard chat input, you're going to get this frustrating error telling you shell commands cannot be queued. To the untrained eye, it kind of looks like Gemini has completely stalled out or frozen. So how do you escape that trap? The absolute ninja move here is a simple keyboard shortcut, Control+F. Hitting Control and F simultaneously tells the CLI to grab the latest terminal output box and immediately put it into focus. It'll physically highlight that output block right on your screen. And once that output box is highlighted, boom, you are back in control. You can interact with it directly, exactly like a normal terminal. You can safely hit Q to quit that test runner or H to pull up the help menu. It completely rescues you from that stalled terminal state and gets you right back to coding without having to nuke the entire session. All right, Section 3, Automating with TOML for custom workflows. Now we're getting to the really good stuff. This is where we turn repetitive, tedious tasks into single command shortcuts. Let's break down a custom file named commit-message.tom that you'd place right in your Gemini commands folder. You'll see 3 distinct parts here. First up is the descriptive header, telling the CLI what this command does. Second is the plain English prompt, which asks Gemini to summarize your code changes. And third, this is the secret sauce right here, an embedded shell command tagged explicitly as a diff. The way we actually embed that shell command is by using a very specific syntax, an exclamation mark followed by curly braces, or @/what. So by typing @/what, getDiff_staged, inside your TOML file, you are letting Gemini dynamically see the exact current state of your project. It's no longer just a generic prompt. It's a prompt armed with live, real-time data from your local machine. This is exactly what enables Gemini to generate incredibly context-aware outputs. Which brings us to Section 4, the execution order and automated data flow. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth does the AI know about the getDiff if it hasn't even happened yet? Let's map out this data flow. It's a very precise 3-step process. First up, before the LLM has any idea what's going on, the Gemini CLI runs your nangshell command locally. Second, it takes the output of that local command and swaps it in to replace the nangshell block right inside your prompt. Third, and only then, is this massive, context-rich completed prompt fired off to the Gemini API. The shell command always runs first to provide immediate context to the model. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Having an AI automatically run local shell commands sounds a little sketchy, right? Well, don't worry. The CLI has a built-in permission loop. Before executing any automated shell command found within a custom TOML prompt, the system will intentionally pause. It explicitly requires you to grant permission to proceed. So you are always in control of what runs on your machine. Finally, Section 5, Pro Tips for Maximizing Productivity. Let's combine everything we've just learned into a real-world, fast-paced workflow. Step 1, hit that exclamation mark to enter shell mode, and type git add dot to stage your changes. Step 2, press escape to drop back into normal chat. Step 3, type your custom command /commit message. The CLI is going to ask for permission, run the git diff in the background, send all of that context to Gemini, and boom, it generates an emoji-rich, highly accurate summary of your exact stage changes. It is insanely fast. And here is your absolute ultimate productivity closer, the /copy command. Once Gemini generates that perfect commit message, you don't even need to reach for your mouse to highlight and copy the text. Nope, just type /copy and hit enter. It instantly grabs Gemini's latest response and slaps it right onto your clipboard, perfectly ready to be pasted into your version control workflow. So we've seen how to trigger shell mode and look for that blue border, how to rescue interactive sessions using Control F, and how to automate complex workflows using custom TOML files and the exclamation brace syntax. The terminal to AI bridge literally removes the friction between your thought process and your code. So I want to leave you with this to think about. Now that you have an AI that can directly query your local system context, what other tedious terminal tasks are you going to automate next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy coding.